Hello, friends. Welcome to our Middle East Vigil service, meditation service. Um, welcome week after week. Last week, uh, we used some visuals and pasted the languages to the nations on a map, just to get an idea of the richness of the area, that it is not one block. It is very diverse. This week we will do the same, but pasting the different sects of Islam that are an important element in the diversity of West Asia. So we have here the map. That shows, and it's only of the Middle East, that shows the two main branches of the two main branches of Islam in the different countries. You can see in green, it's the Sunnis, which not only in the area of the Middle East, but in all of the world of Islam, it is a big majority. And in West Asia, you see it in Saudi Arabia, in Egypt, up there in the north in Turkey, and then in Syria, in Jordan, and in Palestine. I see that here it's another color, but it's supposed to be green. Yeah, and then in the Emirates and the countries there on the Persian Gulf, the Qatar and the Emirates, Qatar and Kuwait. And the Shias are in purple. You see it in Iran. You see it in part of Iraq. And you see it, it's supposed to be, instead of Israel, Palestine, it's supposed to be in Lebanon. We once mentioned the difference between those two sections. The great break of Sunni Shia can be roughly compared to the great Protestant Catholic divide in Europe, just for us to have an idea, to understand. We see also a third element in the map, which is called the Ibadi Islam. It's one more faction, and it's part of Islam that is more tolerant towards the coexistence with the others. And this is one, and you see it in Oman and a little bit in Yemen, but it's mostly in Oman. All of Oman is Ibadi Islamic. It's more tolerant, and this is maybe one of the many reasons that Oman acts as a mediator between the Sunni-Shia rivalry, which is an age-old rivalry. Over the centuries, rulers and empires and modern states turn this religious divide into geopolitics. So this is one more section of the diversity of this area based on religious practices and traditions and identities. All of it is much more complex than this rudimentary difference, the rudimentary differences that are presented here. So we'll stay a few more seconds, half a minute, with this overview of Sunni, Shias, and Ibadi, and their rivalries and their roles in a nutshell. Thank you. Over to you, Efrat.
Thank you, Helen. Good evening, dear friends and co-worker. And as we always do, from the widest picture into the very, very local point of view. As I shared last week, the main issue in Israel right now is a possibility of election. In recent days, a serious political crisis has emerged as the religious parties in the government contained are threatening to withdraw because of the dispute over the military draft law. I'll tell a few words about it later. If these parties leave the coalition, it will mean the immediate dissolution of the Knesset and the announcement of election within 6 months. The draft law is a law meant to determine whether and how many ultra-Orthodox Jews, especially yeshiva students, will be required to serve in the army. The dispute is between the ultra-Orthodox parties, who want broad exemption and protection for the Torah study, and other political public groups who are demanding more equal military service after the war. And at, at the same time, tensions surrounding the renewal of the war with Iran is rising. The question of whether and when the war will resume is constantly hanging in the air. All the media outlets are filled with commentators, each with their own agenda, when in fact, no one really knows. Thank you.
Yeah, no one really knows anything anymore. And our work stays stable in all this. So let us settle into our body with a deep breath. Touching base with this inner place in us where we are silent, where we feel peace. Feeling our heart between the shoulder blades. And making it so it will be purified in harmlessness. Collect now our mental forces in the center of the head. Assuming an inclusive planetary perspective. And identifying as the soul in incarnation. Standing in the will to love. Coming together now on our mountain top, overlooking the world. Our hearts unite. Our minds synchronize into one unified field, mental field. And we stand as a soul together with all soul-guided servers within the Ajna center of the planet. Together, turning now our gaze towards humanity in upheaval and acceleration everywhere. And gently now focusing in on the region of West Asia. Taking a moment to observe the different cultural spheres, the civilizations, nations, religious factions. Making ourselves sensitive to their underlying thought forms, their sense of identity. Let's get a sense of these two mental fields of Shia and Sunni for a moment. Can we distinguish something telepathically, some difference? Get a sense maybe of other thought fields in the region. Being aware of the friction between them. Let us observe now the emotional reactions to these frictions, to these tensions. The struggle for recognition of identity, ideology, for dominance, for survival, for justice. for revenge, and the cry for safety and calm, for dignity, for love. We observe all this from our mountain top, standing together with all those who truly care and serve impartially for all. Let's take a moment to allow ourselves to feel what our brothers and sisters in West Asia feel and hold them in our heart. And now let us do our transmutive work. Again, from the mountain top, as the world group, draw a line of light upwards towards hierarchy, the planetary heart. Letting ourselves be imbued by the vibration of ashramic love. And continuing the line towards Shambhala, the planetary head. Take a moment to align with the divine plan, opening our consciousness to the next possible step for the region of West Asia. Let us try to visualize the process that will be required, that is required, for the perpetuous violent conflict in this area to gradually transform into a field of creative tension. It may take a long time. Let us trace the possibility. Almost inventing it, building a path for this possibility where there isn't yet one, painting it in our consciousness. This long, complex conflict transforming into a field of creative tension. And we invoke the Lords of Liberation to help us release all old patterns which stand in the way. Let the Lords of Liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to humanity. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, and coming save. Come forth, Almighty One. Let the souls of men awaken to the light, and may we stand with masked intent. Let the fiat of the Lord go forth. The end of woe has come. Come forth, Almighty One. The hour of service of the saving force has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, Almighty One. Let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. The will to save is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. The active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, Almighty One, and blend these three. Construct a great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end. See and sense a shaft of pure golden white light, broad and brilliant, flood West Asia. See a huge column of light pouring through all planes. Hold this column steady in the will to peace. See soul light flooding the mental plane. See soul light pouring into the astral plane. See soul light pouring into the etheric physical plane, penetrating into the earth. Joining with the Devic forces, clearing out the ancient patterns of this area, making space for new ways, for the new energies. Holding this channel open, let us now, through an act of slow concentration, link up with the Christ. Sense behind him the avatar of synthesis. Visualizing and willing the energy of synthesis pouring through the channel, bringing about the necessary destruction of form, not by force, but by the greatly strengthened life within the form. seeing synthesis energy pouring through the Christ into West Asia, into each cultural sphere. Into the various religious groups and the various nations, clearing the old and revealing the way forward into a higher order, from solar plexus dynamics to the ways of the heart. This we affirm as we sound the great invocation in Hebrew, Farsi, and Arabic.
מנקודת האור אשר בדעת אל, יזרום האור אל דעת האדם. ירד האור על פני האדמה. מנקודת האהבה אשר בלב האל, תזרום האהבה אל לבבות אנוש. ישוב מורה עולם על פני האדמה. מהמרכז שבו נודע רצון האל, תנחה תכלית את רצונות אדם, תכלית אותה מורי האנושות יודעים ומשרתים. מהמרכז אשר נקרא המין האנושי, תוגשם תוכנית האהבה והאור, ויחתם הפתח אל הרע. יהי רצון, ויחדשו אור אהבה ועוצמה, את התוכנית על פני האדמה. אמן.
از نقطه نور در ذهن خداوند بگذار نور در ذهن انسانها جریان یابد. بگذار نور به زمین فرود آید. از نقطه عشق در قلب خداوند بگذار عشق در قلب انسانها جریان یابد. بگذار مسیح به زمین بازگردد. از مرکزی که در آن اراده خداوند شناخته شده است، بگذار هدف اراده های کوچک انسانها را راهنمایی کند. هدفی که استادان می دانند و خدمت می کنند. از مرکزی که ما آن را نژاد انسان می نامیم، بگذار نقشه عشق و نور کارگر افتد و در به سوی دنیای تاریکی را ببندد. بگذار نور و عشق و قدرت نقشه زمین را بازسازی کنند.
من نقطة النور في العقل الإلهي ليشع النور في عقول الناس وليهبط النور إلى الأرض. من نقطة الحب في القلب الإلهي ليتسرب الحب في قلوب الناس وليرجع معلم الكون إلى الأرض. من المركز الذي تعرف منها إرادة الله لتقود الغاية إرادة الناس البسيطة، تلك الغاية التي يدركها المعلمون ويخدمونها. من المركز الذي ندون بالجنس البشري لينتج تسمين الحب والنور ويختم على الباب الذي يقيم به الشر، ليجدد النور والحب والقوة التسمين على الأرض. الله أمين.